P'TACH is Parents for Torah for All Children.
P'TACH children, to me, they were just all Erie Crown students.
Teachers who I didn't have to be afraid of.
There was an immediate sense of relief.
Everyone is so open-minded.
The academic support. I think there's emotional support that we provide to the students also.
Getting to know your student personally. It's making a connection to themselves.
P'TACH began in 1978. There was a family in the community that needed a program for their child. That family and a few other families came together and went to Rabbi Shapiro and asked Rabbi Shapiro if he would house such a program in his school. And he said yes, and the rest is history.
This all began with an idea from Dr. and Mrs. Novick to create this entity called P'TACH for what was then for a handful of children.
When I first started in the P'TACH program, I was probably in 2nd or 3rd grade.
It was a very difficult decision for us to make to put Shoshana in P'TACH. When it was first suggested to us, we were horrified. We looked into many other options to sending her to different programs.
When a teacher would approach me, I sort of panicked a little bit.
We tried to take away all of that anxiety, and we tried to take away all of the excess pressure.
A child's problems doesn't disappear when they're in P'TACH, but it became a more manageable level.
I became more comfortable when I started in P'TACH.
Nachamu, nachamu, Ami, nachamu, nachamu, Yomar Elokechem, nachamu, nachamu, Ami, nachamu, nachamu, Yomar Elokechem.
The children of P'TACH, in all their hearts and souls, would love to interact with the regular mainstream children on a regular basis.
They see us when a particular subject is difficult for them. Sometimes we see them for Parsha. Sometimes we see them when it's Ivrit during their mainstream class, and that's a little bit difficult for them. They come down to the P'TACH room and they do Ivrit with us.
We have the beauty of learning one-on-one with a child, really tuning into their need or their strength, as well as modifying the material given from the regular frontal teacher. We try to connect a Musar Haskell, a learning experience that connects to you, whether it's in your life or your school day. So when we're doing Parsha with our students or Chumash, we try to take those experiences and connect it to something that can make them a better person or better their skill or better with their working habits.
Everyone was supportive, and they had a plan for Shoshana and goals for Shoshana, and we felt we were all on the same side.
The parents get to understand very quickly that they can count on the fact that they have a team that's behind them. The Erie Crown team, the P'TACH team, putting our heads together to ensure success.
And that's why we felt such a sense of relief when we finally got into P'TACH and said, why did we wait so long?
The P'TACH teachers really just helped you make sense of something that didn't before.
Our P'TACH teachers are in constant communication with the mainstream teachers, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's by email, whether it's conferencing.
I'm a Rebbe for the boys. I teach them Gemara, I teach them Mishnah, I teach them Chumash. I do a lot of communication with the mainstream Rebbeim, trying to just keep them up with their studies in the mainstream classroom and trying to get them on a level where they can be successful in the mainstream classroom.
The Erie Crown teachers and the P'TACH teachers have a very positive relationship. We communicate all the time, and they really care about our students. They really take interest in them. We connect throughout the day at any time that is needed to just really better help that child.
We are very lucky that we have an amazing team of teachers at P'TACH. We have teachers that share ideas with each other. We have teachers that share concerns with each other. And as a team, we try and help our students the best that we possibly can.
P'TACH wouldn't be where it is today without Erie Crown or without Joan Dax. We also wouldn't be where we are today without the Jewish community of Chicago. We have many professionals associated with our P'TACH program. We have a social worker, we have an art therapist, And we have a speech therapist who is on site who gives very intensive speech therapy. So our students are getting additional services from other professionals.
I see a variety of kids who attend PTACH, and I address their speech and language needs. The most common area of need is typically in language. I do see some kids with articulation errors, but most of the kids that I see have more expressive and receptive language needs. So being able to tell information to others and being able to take in the information from teachers, peers, and interpreting that information correctly.
The ATT is also offering professional development to us, whether it be in executive functioning, more reading techniques, just different strategies for teaching. It's ongoing and it's continual.
I recently took a class through the ATT. It was a smartboard class, but it was more than just how to use the smartboard. It was a more advanced course on actually planning a lesson in Mishnah and in Gemara. To quote Mar Rosenfeld, who taught the class, he said, "We're trying to build independent learners."
I see a lot of kids who love coming to PTACH, and they get a lot of support from their teachers and from the aides, and it's very individualized. They're looking at each child's specific strengths and weaknesses in order to really scaffold their learning.
Getting to know your student personally is a very positive part of my teaching experience with them.
They walk out feeling successful, or they walk into their classroom and feel successful. That's the beauty of PTACH. Success breeds success.
Yakir li, Ephraim, im yeled, shashuim.
I remember saying to my mother many times that I felt like I belonged in PTACH. I just felt good about myself.
I think that we create happiness because the students have a place to come to get that extra help and love and support and caring and whatever they need.
We have a teacher who is teaching a very small Chumash class, and when she calls down into our room to say that a child read a Rashi out loud in class, that child feels success, because then we say, wow, you just were able to do that.
How special is it that these students who would struggle elsewhere are feeling success here in Judaics, in general studies, in recess, in Erev Shirah, in all those beautiful things that the Jewish community offers.
I see kids who speak up and give answers and say that they have questions.
My favorite part about PTACH, the boys feel comfortable enough to come in and start schmoozing with me, and a boy will come and say hello. Another boy will come and start eating his breakfast with me. Those are the precious moments that you can't get anywhere else.
See the children, smiling faces, as the days begun. So we study Talmud Torah, Keneged Kulam.
If there were no PTACH, by the end of the day, the child would most likely be in tears, most likely be extremely frustrated, and most likely tell his mother, I'm not going back to school tomorrow.
Some of our students might end up in public school and not receive that amazing Jewish education that we provide.
Without PTACH, they wouldn't have that individualized attention to feel good about themselves and to feel that fuller understanding of their learning experience.
And sometimes